Glamrock Bonnie is not the commission that needs for Burntrap suit like hundreds of theories have led you to believe. No offense guys, and rather somewhere else in FNAF Security Breach, and I'll prove it to you. Before again, guys, this is called a theory for a reason, even this video, because of course I'm not trying to send hate onto anyone. I really can't know for certain what actually is a fact. I just want to disprove some misconceptions used to support this theory and give my own personal take on what happened and where he is. Anyways, Bonnie is literally one of the biggest mysteries in the game, and any clues of how he was like and what happened to him are really big. So it's important that we quickly gather the information of what we already know about him that might help us. His first mentioning comes from Freddy, where he states,
"There is no rabbit at the Mega Pizzaplex. Not anymore."
In which it's notable that Freddy mourns his disappearance as it was rather somewhat recently, being more evident with retheme. A message that reads, "Management report. The bowling alley needs a retheme. While most of the Bonnie art is removed, kids keep asking, where's Bonnie? Do we have an officially approved response?" They literally haven't even been able to get all the Bonnie art replaced yet, as we can see at the entrance of the attraction with this picture. Also, side note, this probably isn't how Bonnie actually looks like. It really doesn't correlate to the other Glamrocks, but rather like this adorable drawing you can see inside of the alley. And actually, we do get our last piece of info from Freddy in here.
"I do not come up here anymore. I miss him."
Okay, so now that we know that he disappeared and it's rather recent, what actually happened to him is where it gets confused. Our first pieces of evidence mostly just come from these messages. The first called understudy. With Bonnie out of commission, we are making Monty the new bass player. Parts and servers have already done the proper adjustments. And missing, which presents Bonnie's last known locations. First, at 12 AM he leaves his green room and goes towards the atrium. At 2, he enters the East Arcade, and his last known location being at 4 AM, where he enters Monty Gator Golf. Unsurprisingly, this left a lot of people, including MatPat, who made a Security Breach game theory around this that almost has 10 million views, to conclude either of the following. Glamrock Bonnie just randomly starts wandering around at night and ends up in Gator Golf, or was programmed by Benny to go there, after for some reason taking him to different places too. Where either 1, Benny hacks Monty into destroying him and also possibly make Monty forget what happened, as him unwillingly killing someone he's had daily contact with for all of his life feels like something he would want to bring up. Well, at least if he was a bit caring before the glitch trap virus like Freddy is. Or not, and he just kept it a secret. Or 2, Monty just sees him alone and an opportunity to possibly be chosen as a new bass player, so he decommissions him on the spot. Both versions of the theory ultimately ending up in the conclusion that Vanny, after seeing / doing this, goes over to Glamrock Bonnie with the intention of picking him up and using his body after changing it up a bit to give Glitchtrap his new physical form as Burntrap. So, like MatPat says,
you want to know where Glamrock Bonnie is? Right there, right in front of your face. Burntrap's body is Glamrock Bonnie's body.
Or sometimes at least most parts of it, like the ears, the parts of the limbs, the basic structure, and most notably the claws. The claws are actually one of the biggest pieces of evidence used to support this theory, and as game theory also points out, Security Breach keeps putting emphasis on Burntrap's claws multiple times throughout it, trying to tell us that these claws are important for a reason. And as we see in understudy, Monty was giving these claws just like Bonnie's, since animatronics who play the bass need to have them, unlike the others, in order to properly be able to play. And even though I do agree with the fact that the game is trying to tell us something with these claws, I'm pretty sure it's something else. But hey, now that I've just explained the theory, let me first potentially try to debunk it before giving my own personal take. For starters, Monty being the one who decommissions Bonnie without any external force is rather unusual, because believe it or not, even if he can be aggressive right now, I don't think jealousy was ever part of Monty's personality. Before we continue, if you guys want to shout out like these people, consider doing one click on the subscribe button, since it takes 1 second, would mean so much to me and you can always undo it. Also, huge shout out to Control Hogset for helping me build up this theory. By the way, we have a Discord, link in the description. Anyways, Monty isn't a jealous character. What makes people mostly believe this is this level in a golf arcade machine, where we see Freddy tossed out into a trash bin and Monty being the center of attention on stage, showing that Monty craves the spotlight and he's not afraid to get rid of others into getting it. But we're outright told that that's actually not the case. In Monty Mischief, a message which is originally given to us as a clue on how to defeat Monty, we're told that him skipping shows and hiding in the catwalks is a rather usual occurrence, not just because this time he was injured. That doesn't really sound like someone who craves the spotlight. And also, if we're taking this arcade machine as if we're canon, then did Monty just like learn how to and hack the company's arcade machine and program this whole level in? And lastly, if Monty were to have fought Bonnie, the one trait that makes him violent and dangerous, which is also sometimes used to back up this theory, his claws, well, he would not have them yet, but rather Glamrock Bonnie would, being at a clear advantage, and he most likely would have damaged them, at least a bit. But still, Monty, heck, most likely not even seeing Bonnie that night, and it just being a cover-up is all fine, as the real premise is merely the fact that Benny destroyed Bonnie to build Burntrap. Well, just by comparing an animatronic endoskeleton of a real Glamrock with William, we can see that they just don't match. Parts of it, well, being completely honest, although Although I can't entirely confirm none of it is Bonnie, them specifically wanting to get his parts doesn't entirely make much sense, at least besides getting parts of the ears, as Bonnie has access to hundreds of brand new endoskeletons as well as probably the parts they used to make them. It wouldn't really make much sense for them to go through all of this trouble just to build Burntrap or make the ears a bit longer, and for another huge reason I'll say in a bit. But for now, if Bonnie didn't destroy Bonnie for the intention of building Burntrap, then what actually happened to him? Why is the game putting an emphasis on Burntrap's claws so much? And most importantly, where is he now? Well, this is the way I see it. Bonnie didn't just randomly get up for a walk and end up in Monty Golf, or was hacked by Bonnie to go there and stand still. I think he was actually getting suspicious. Some of the evidence is like how Bonnie actually has a back door leading into Bonnie's room, allowing him to observe any changes that occurred there. If he noticed the alterations made to the room, it would have aroused his curiosity. Also, earlier versions of Bonnie Bowl featured large picture windows overlooking Roxy Raceway, providing a clear view of the door leading to the sinkhole. Not to mention the construction workers' proximity and that of various staff members due to the malfunctioning Princess Quest's arcade machines that are on the same floor as his bowling alley and what he hears from them. Which now leads me to try and give a more proper explanation to his various seemingly random long trips he took before disappearing. I think he was actually visiting through the glitched arcade machine, aka the ones that were also talked in the arcade conspiracy message. He leaves his room, turns east to enter the atrium, which is right next door to Monty Golf and Kids Cove, where there is a now closed entrance to the daycare. We know that we have the Balloon Boy arcade machine in there. Sorry, I forgot to add this in the video. But keep in mind too that this BB Corrupt arcade machine was not always in Sun's secret room that is only accessible by doing a bunch of tasks, and was before being moved just open to anyone visiting the daycare or theater in it to play. Okay, back to the video. Also connected to the Kids Cove is the hallway that leads to Chica's bakery, where Chica's feeding frenzy is. Then he got out onto the East arcade where Princess Quest 1 is, until finally going back to Monty Golf where the Gator Golf arcade machine is located. One of the arcade machines that is still up even when there's no power in them, and one that also appears to have some secrets in it. Anyways, Bonnie probably finally catches up to what he's been doing, and instead of decommissioning him and leaving parts so they can repair them, he takes them and puts them somewhere no one would look and is inaccessible for anyone to enter, explaining why they couldn't just rebuild him. Then Glitchtrap, most likely taking the opportunity that his last known location was Monty Golf, hacks the Golf arcade machine to cover up their actions and redirect suspicion towards Monty, by making it appear as though Monty has jealousy issues and that he was responsible for Bonnie's disappearance. They could avoid raising suspicion among the staff members who might attribute Monty's behavior to his personality. Lastly, for Burntrap, I don't think Vanny had taken any extra parts of Bonnie for him, mostly since it looks like parts of his flesh have already sort of melted onto the animatronic body, and kinda since it takes away the opportunity to show Glamrock Bonnie in the DLC, since everything being broken down would allow open access to all rooms, and also would explain this bunny looking face we see in the trailer. Burntrap's design most likely could just be the scrap trap body for the corpse and viable parts, and the remains of the original Stringtrap costume, as he honestly just seems like a mix of the two. Then what is the game trying to tell us with the claws? Well, although they don't match Monty's claws in any way, they perfectly match the claws from a nightmare. What this means? Well, we're probably gonna find out more in the DLC. Or Steelball is just using whatever random assets they can to make him look scary. The lore for FNAF has gotten really complicated now. If you ever wonder how this came to be, go watch this video. Wait, also, we have a Discord now. Link in the description. Thank you for watching. This is a theory. Please don't kill me. Bye bye.